Hi, everybody. How are you doing today? Thanks for carving out this time to get together and think of something greater than ourselves. If your picture keeps wobbling a little, it's Cleo the cat rubbing up against my camera screen. I keep trying to get her to stop, but you know these darn cats. They don't have any will but their own. I want to read something that came in the daily slew of things that I meditate over. This one happens to be from Sister Joan Chittister. Do you know her? She's just like this wonderful writer, spiritual writer. And she's based out of Erie, Pennsylvania, Roman Catholic woman, religious. And this is an excerpt from a book of hers titled For Everything a Season, published by Orbis. It's troubling. And yet, I think dead on. So I thought I'd share it and let you be troubled too. Excuse me, allergies are clogging me this morning. All right, here's what she has to say, Sister Joan. It's called The Moral Disease of Domination. Once upon a time, an ancient story tells, the main tributary of a mountain stream became polluted. Everyone in the village became crazed, with the exception of those few people who refused to drink the water. Ridiculed for their differences, sick to death from loneliness, and facing dried-up wells, those who refused to drink from the stream went to the king to ask what they should do. And the wise old king said, "It is clearly madness to drink the water. But if drink it we must, let us at least have the honor of sending out messengers to tell the rest of the world that we know that we are mad." Clearly, she writes, evil has seeped into the soul of the nation, but calls itself good, calls itself freedom, calls itself defense. And that may be the greatest madness of all. If we could only know the enormity of our spiritual distortion, perhaps we could be cured of it. I never wonder to see people wicked, Jonathan Swift wrote, one of my ancestors, by the way, but I often wonder to see them not ashamed. I never wonder to see people wicked, but I often wonder to see them not ashamed. We need, indeed, to expunge the Leviathan within us that has robbed us of our shame. We need to become human again. We need to see that what has led us to our prophets and pretended to be moral power has really led us to our peril. We have the moral disease of domination, with which we must struggle for our souls. Power has become our national obsession, as it has for many nations before us and around us. We have bartered moral suasion for brute force. But why is it like this? Why? Answers suggest themselves but come only with a blush. Is it because we have come to some state of spiritual bankruptcy? Is it because even as churches we have given more energy to our institutions than we have to the gospel? Is it because we have spent more time saying our prayers to get into heaven than we have listening to the prophets who warn us that the reign of God must start first on earth? Yes, of course, for all these reasons, but not only. The fact is that we cling to the image of the warrior God in the face of the God of love. We cling only to the image of the warrior God in the face of the God of love. The fact is that we mix the national religion and the Christian religion as a matter of course. This country, we presume, is especially favored by God, under God's singular protection, distinctly chosen to do God's will. To those types, Lincoln taught in the course of the Civil War, quote, "The question is not whether or not God is on our side. The question is whether or not we are on God's side." We abhor violence, but we do not, as a people or a church, study nonviolence. We abhor conflict, but we do not demand national research into alternative forms of conflict resolution. We are stricken with a fear of sharing that closes our borders and deports the defenseless. It is time for us to withdraw our support for violence as we once withdrew it from the bartering for women, the institution of slavery, and the practice of chaining the mentally unfit. The spiritual effect is to become a person of peace, too strong to be intimidated even by our own, too involved to be silenced. The function of the peacemaker is not to shirk combat with evil. The function of the peacemaker is to find ways to confront evil without becoming evil. Sister Joan Chittister, an excerpt from For Everything a Season at Orbis Books. And Cleo the cat has decided to pass through. All joking aside about Cleo, I think that Joan's words are really profound. I think that they sadly recount where we are as a nation, and where too many of us are as people. I mean, when was the last time you took any kind of action or study in the areas of nonviolence or conflict resolution? When was the last time that our churches offered these kinds of things? Or this fact that we cling to the image of the warrior God. If only God could come and smite our adversaries and set this nation right. If only God would intervene. That might be the warrior God mentality, you know. Maybe the God of love mentality is teach me to love those people I hate. Teach me to have compassion for the people who are wrong, which belies my own bias. Well, that's it for today. I know it's a little unsettling and I don't have any answers, just a lot of questions. Cleo and I hope that you have a happy day. Thanks for joining me for the Prayerful Pause with the Pastor. Time to think of something greater than ourselves. This is Pastor Deb Swift, South Presbyterian Church in Rochester, New York. If you enjoy these, or maybe if you just value the fact that we need to be challenged like this, and you are in a position to financially support this ministry, we invite you to do so. The address is on the end cap. If you are not in a position to do that, or even if you are, we also invite you to support this ministry with prayers, especially at a time like this. So, okay, everybody, I'll see you next time. God bless. Take care. And we'll hope the cat doesn't throw my computer off the table altogether. Well, there you go. That's her 2 cents heard from Honestly, she's really a very beautiful cat. She's just kind of antsy in the morning. All right, everybody. From the serious to the sublime. I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye for now.